Let's just get right into it. We don't have any fancy intro yet. We don't have any catchy title for the show. We're just going to talk volleyball. And we're here today to really dive into the V-Ball Recruiter initial top 50 high school national rankings. We released them yesterday, Tuesday. And sitting at top of the rankings is Sierra Canyon from Chatsworth, California. So why did we go ahead and put them atop of the rankings? Well, it's very, very simple. We think this is the best team in the country. So what are we looking for when we try to decide who is going to be number one? Obviously, you got to have talent. You're not going to be ranked or even considered to be ranked if you don't have what we consider a strong team. So obviously, we're looking for high-level players who excelled at the club level. That's really where the focus is at. Also, we're looking for a really, really strong strength of schedule. You could have a strong team, but if we're looking at your schedule and we don't think it really is going to stack up nationally, it's hard to say, hey, we're going to put you in the top spot. You go undefeated, you don't really play a competitive schedule, and then what, you're going to be the national champion? No, so it doesn't really work like that. So Sierra Canyon really checks both boxes and checks them really, really strongly. Okay, so this is a team that has really stud juniors coming back, 3 stud juniors in, and I'm going to be really, really honest, like I'm going to be bad with some of these names, so just, bear with me. Maybe I'm just going to say some of their first names. Everybody kind of knows if you're in the loop who I'm talking about. But you have Eva Jeffries coming back, big outside, junior outside. You have another junior outside, Hannah McGinnis, and a tremendous setter in Lucky who's already committed to Missouri. That already, those 3 alone, considering what this team did last year and the strength of schedule and finishing in the top 20 in the country, they're already going to be considered as one of the best. But they have 2 absolute superstar transfers that are coming into the program. One is another junior outside, McKenna McIntosh, who starred for Vision 16s this past club season. She moves down from NorCal, and her transfer has already been cleared by the CIF Southern Section, valid change of residence. That is a tremendous, tremendous addition to the team, but that's not all. Kay Nasty, Kendall, a big 5-star recruit, committed to Nebraska, obviously dominated for Arizona Storm these past few seasons. She's actually moved out of the state and into Southern California. Now, technically, I checked this morning, CIF Southern Section, she's not approved yet. There's no doubt that it'll go through. When you move states, it's hard to get a more valid change of residence approval than that. So we'll see when that goes through. Sierra Canyon does kick off its season this week on Thursday in Hawaii at the Kang Invitational. Super strong field. We'll get to that in a second. But you have these 5 superstar juniors for Sierra Canyon. They're going to play a tremendously tough schedule. They go to Kang. They're going to play some of the top teams in Southern California. And they go to the Durango Fall Classic, which we'll touch on a little bit down the road too, because the Durango Fall Classic this year is absolutely going to have the biggest say in who wins our national championship at the end of the season. So Sierra Canyon opens up at number 1. At number 2 is Byron Nelson from Texas. Now this team was our 2024 national champions. The only loss they suffered was last year in pool play at Kang. Came back, won the whole tournament. First Texas school to ever win that tournament. They went out the rest of the season. They won the Texas state title. Well, now there's a couple because they divided it up between 1A and 2A. But they won the 2A state title. Had a tremendous argument. We went ahead and said, hey, this is the best team, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all subjective. This isn't club. The top teams don't all play each other, get together at the end of the year at like nationals. So this is a very subjective anointment, if you will. But Byron Nelson comes back. They bring everybody back. Kylie Kleckner, Ashlyn Say, Sophie Peterson. I mean, this is just like a tremendously talented group. And they're back in Hawaii this year to defend their title. So right out of the gate, we get this 1 versus 2 possibility slugfest to see what happens. And of course, if they do end up meeting up, only one can win. So one team's going to come home with a loss for sure. Should Sierra Canyon or Byron Nelson come back undefeated with that tournament title, having beaten the other top-ranked team there, they're already going to be in such a perfect position to go ahead and start to stake claim as to why they should be the national champion. Of course, we talked about Sierra Canyon's schedule. If they are to win this weekend and bring home the title, it really is just the beginning because they're going to have to go through a grueling schedule. But this team is built to run the table. Now, is it going to happen? It is a new team. It does take time. There's a lot of varying factors. You know, you're playing 3 out of 5. You can go to Vegas, play a very grueling schedule, have to come back, play a match possibly on Tuesday. You're tired. So there's a lot of things can happen. But really right now at the start of this high school season, that is the number one thing that I am paying attention to, that I'm watching for. These 2 powerhouse schools possibly meeting this weekend. And it's really right out of the gate going to shape the course of this 2025 high school season. Of course, there's a lot of amazing high schools out there, right? A lot of amazing teams. These 2 teams are going to get a lot of attention at the start. But, I mean, there's a lot of loaded teams out there. Mater Dei out of California, we have them ranked number 3. If Sierra Canyon didn't get the transfers that they got, Mater Dei might be in the top spot. They might be number 2 behind Byron Nelson. The thing about Mater Dei is they play arguably the toughest schedule in the entire country. They're going to fly out to Florida at the end of the month, at the end of August, to play in the Nike TOC Southeast out there. They're going to play some of the top Florida squads. Winter Park, who were super hyped on this season. They only lost one time last year. They went ahead and won the Florida 6A, 7A. I get all these things confused if I'm not looking at my notes. But they won the largest school division title last year in the state of Florida. They bring almost everybody back. We're expecting huge things from them. They're going to be out there. So Mater Dei heads there. Mater Dei is going to go to Vegas like they always do. And then they're going to fly to Phoenix and play in the Nike TOC Southwest, where Xavier Prep's going to be, and another team we're super hyped on. We have Winter Park starting at number 8 in our first top 50. We have Xavier Prep starting at number 5. So these are top 10 powerhouses that we really believe. Mater Dei is going to play, Miracosta and Torrey Pines, and they're going to play some really top level programs out of SoCal. Torrey Pines starts off at number 7 in our rankings. Miracosta starts off at number 10. So it's going to be an extremely difficult ask of Mater Dei to run the table. They might play Sierra Canyon at Durango. If they don't bump into them there, we fully expect they'll play each other in the postseason, in the Southern Section playoffs, and the California State Championships. But I mean, Mater Dei has, because of its schedule and the talent that's returning, it has a tremendous path to end the season as our national champion. Obviously, again, ton of things have to happen, ton of things have to fall in line for them, but that is possible. We touched on Winter Park. Winter Park does not play quite the same strength of schedule as the teams we just mentioned, Sierra Canyon, Byron Nelson, Mater Dei, Xavier Prep. But since Mater Dei is coming out to the Nike Southeast tournament, and Winter Park can play Mater Dei and beat Mater Dei, and Mater Dei goes on to beat these other teams, I mean, that's a tremendous feather in Winter Park's cap. And that could really propel them to having a great case when the dust settles and say, hey, who was the best team in the country this year? Well, if Mater Dei has an amazing, awesome season and Winter Park beats them and goes undefeated, wins a state championship, that's definitely going to put them in the conversation and really near the top, if not the top. Xavier Prep plays a also very, very difficult schedule. We mentioned that they're going to be at Nike TOC Southwest the end of September after Durango. They head to Durango Fall Classic. So this is a team that won the Arizona 6A state championship last year. They bring back a ton of talent. They're going to have a chance to stake their claim. I mean, by going to Durango, if they could somehow pull off the championship there and win the Nike tournament and win another state championship, that's going to put them at top. I mean, because all the top teams are going to Durango, right? So that's kind of how it works. This is why these national tournaments play such an important role, because it starts to, you know, give us not only head-to-head results, but kind of starts to, you know, give us, what do you want, you know, starts to kind of help connect the dots and fill the pieces into this proverbial puzzle that is trying to figure out who is the best team in the country. So it's like I said, we're going to start this weekend. And Kang, loaded field. We talked about, you know, Sierra Canyon being there, Byron Nelson being there, but you have Miracosta, Redondo Union, Leolani, the host school. So you have some fabulous programs out there already. Leolani's coming back to Durango this year. So, I mean, they might be able to spring an upset or two this weekend and then make some noise at Durango and Vegas, and who knows where that will put them. Like I said, we have Nike TOC at the end of this month. That's going to start to really help to shape stuff. You know, you have big tournaments like in Louisville with the LIVT Assumptions out there. The top teams in Kentucky go there. Mother McCauley comes down. You know, speaking of Mother McCauley, they host their ASICS Challenge, where some of the best teams in Illinois come. That starts to fill in the puzzle. But nothing can compete with the Durango Fall Classic. That's just the fact of the matter. And this year's field is special. I feel like I'm saying that every year, but it's like, it's crazy how this tournament continues to just bring in school after school after school. I mean, this year's field is, I'm just going down the list. I mean, Assumption's coming out, Bishop Gorman, who's been the best team in Nevada the last couple seasons. Bishop Gorman has a loaded schedule too. They're going to be at Durango. I think they're also at and Kang, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be a crazy tournament. Throw that in. You know, Cathedral Catholic's probably going to be down a little bit, but you know, you can never count a school like that out. They know how to win. Cornerstone Christian's coming to Durango. Corona del Sol out of Arizona, who was the state runner-up last year, is coming out. They haven't been in a few seasons. Like, I can't remember when was the last time they've been out. So that's an awesome addition. Harrisburg from South Dakota is coming out. This is a team that went undefeated. They won their state title last year. They have Jocelyn Samuels, a 5-star setter, running the show. So this is going to be a great test for them to come out, kind of see where they stack up nationally and really play a strong schedule and a chance to prove like, hey, yeah, we're out of South Dakota. We might not play the caliber of teams in our home state, but by being able to come out and play against a loaded field at Durango, this is a great opportunity for them to pounce on. You know, we mentioned Ilani's coming out, Kamehameha's coming out. You have Marist from Chicago who's coming out to Durango. Marymount's coming out. Modern Day's out there. Miracosta's out there. You have a couple Nebraska schools coming. Papillion, La Vista South. You have Scott Catholic. Amazing programs. Always in the mix for their respective state titles. Of course, Sierra Canyon, we've talked about plenty's coming out. You have Torrey Pines coming out. And you have Xavier Prep, who we talked about. I mean, this is just like a tremendous field. And we're going to have to wait, you know, about a month or so. That's September 19th and 20th in the desert out in Vegas. We're going to have plenty more on that. But really, as I said, you know, quick recap. Really watching what happens at Kang this weekend. It's really going to set the tone for the season. We have some big Texas tournaments kicking off the next 3 weeks. Of course, the end of the month with Volleypalooza. We'll be there for that one. So yeah, we're out of the gate, and we're out of the gate full speed ahead. So thank you very much. We're going to be having check-ins, conversations, previews, wrap-ups, everything you can imagine under the sun this season. So thank you very much, and we will catch up soon.